To not be forgotten. That's the topic of today. Um, Today I kind of had a moment in my life where I realized all of the stuff that's around me, my family, my friends, mainly high school experiences and the sports I play, and just my friends in general. Um, One day I will forget that they happened. Well, not forget entirely. I will move on from my life and I will forget for a while that that happened. Then, in about 50 years, I'll, maybe come across a kid from my high school and then we go back and we, have nostalgia, about memories and going to games, playing sports, having fun, going out, late party, late night bonfires, the usual, right? But to some people in high school, they don't want to be forgotten, right? They don't want to, go into life or leave high school and they don't want to be forgotten. That's why some people stay in their hometown and, grow up, have kids, make their kids go to high school and then live their life there. They don't want to be forgotten. They don't, in a sense, everyone doesn't want to be forgotten in one way or another, right? Because if you're forgotten, you're lonely, right? And as humans, we don't want to be lonely. That's kind of the biggest thing I've been learning, and that to not be forgotten. I think that is something we all kind of strive for at the end of the day. We all do the things we do just to not be forgotten. Even if you think you want to be forgotten, even if you're in a low moment right now, I guarantee you when you're on your deathbed or when you're in a dark moment, you're you don't want to be alone. If some people try to get through like depression alone without talking to someone, it's gonna be tough. I've tried it. I'm still trying it now, right? And this is a way or expression of not to be forgotten. This whole YouTube channel. And this is video number 10. Crazy, right? It's been 2 months. 2 months. So this is my digital footprint. I'm uploading. These videos are probably on a server somewhere or Google because Google owns YouTube. Um, my all the videos I've posted, they're on a server somewhere, and when you click on them, they're being brought up to the surface, and you're watching them, and I'm not being forgotten. Um, if those servers stay alive, I won't be forgotten. And that's kind of a big risk, right? Because what if, the world ends, a meteor hits? Well, I think at that point I'd have bigger issues. Um, but I'm starting to come to a realization as a believer in Jesus. I've realized that he was lonely in a sense, When I'm gonna get religious, when he died, um, a couple people believe that he would be revived again, and he was revived. But in that moment, he was probably the loneliest person because everyone was against him. And it was kind of, I bet you it was a surreal moment. And, but he still had hope that he won't be forgotten. And guess what? He's not. 2,000 years later in 2025, he's not forgotten. So it's kind of crazy, you know, if you know how he created the Bible, right? And his stories got passed down, passed down. In a sense, writing your own personal story is a way of you not being forgotten. And I think there's a beauty in that. I think there's beauty in how humans strive to not be forgotten. Even if it's through, playing for your high school football team to try to win a championship, to try to win a trophy, try to go to college, try to be a valedictorian, give the greatest speech of all time, maybe even asking out that girl to homecoming, right? To not be forgotten. I think that's a big thing, and people don't really talk about it. I've talked to one friend about this, and he kind of agrees. He's my friend. More and more people are starting to be philosophical nowadays, and I think that's because of the internet. I think that's a great thing, and they're starting to realize that they don't want to be forgotten. So what are they doing? They're starting these types of YouTube channels. There's a lot of faceless YouTube channels out there, and they're just talking about relationships, money, growing wealth, growing this or that. But what I really and they don't want to be forgotten, right? And when I really, click on one of those videos, what I see is they kind of like don't acknowledge that they're doing it to not be forgotten. I haven't came across a video um, saying that they're doing this not to be forgotten or they're doing this for the money. Obviously some say they're not doing it for the money. Obviously, I could say the same thing. You can believe me whether you do or you're not. It's not up to me. It's all, if you choose to believe me or if you choose to don't, then it's up to you, right? But most of these YouTube channels just don't want to be forgotten. And it's kind of funny to see how maybe some do, and I'm not really realizing that. But yeah, I don't know. I can rant. Actually, let's go on the rant of it's going, the first half of the video is going to start off as a rant about not being forgotten, but the second part here is going to be about these faceless YouTube channels like mine, right? And I think they're a good and a bad thing, right? I think if you want to listen to someone talk, these are great. This is great content, right? This is prime content for that person. Now, I think some faceless YouTube channels are starting to take advantage of that, especially with AI. AI voices have become so good that even the closest people around me, they're watching AI videos. And that AI, I guarantee you, if you go ask ChatGPT to create a script about a philosophical idea, he could do way better than me. And I think what's going to happen, this is speculation, of course, but I think what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years, I think AI is going to become, so big, it's going to take over. It's going to be great, well, it's not, for some people it's going to be great, for some it ain't. And especially AI content, that's going to probably take over. And people are going to realize that, damn, they miss that human connection. So what they're going to want to find is real, authentic, human videos like this, right? Obviously I made mistakes in these videos, and that's why I'm doing this now, because I know I will thank myself for this, and hopefully this will pay off. If it doesn't, well, that sucks. Recently today I just saw a video from Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast has over 443 million subscribers. It's a lot of subscribers. He just posted today, hi to myself in 10 years from now. And that to me shows that he doesn't want to be forgotten. If he has that video pre-uploaded, ready to go, what other videos does he have, right? He could be recording one today of him in 20 years from now, 30, 40, right? And so on. And that's kind of him saying that he doesn't want to be forgotten in a sense, right? Because if he dies, then he'll still be able to upload. Right? It's kind of crazy how YouTube makes you want to upload a bunch of stuff so that you won't be forgotten. I think a lot of these people that are doing it to not be forgotten just want to have their voice heard, And I guess you could say I'm kind of the same way, wanting my voice to be heard. But in a sense, I don't really care. Obviously I'm not the first person to say that, and I'm probably not the last. But I don't really care if my voice gets heard or not, because I will die one day. I'll probably forget about this. I'll definitely do this for a good another 10 years maybe, because I'm ambitious. But I guarantee you, it's, when I'm on my deathbed, I'm probably not going to think of me doing YouTube. I'm probably going to think about me, hanging out with my friends, my family, the social connections I've made, and the friends I've made along the way. The journey, some might say. That's what I'm going to think about. And that's what kind of everyone realizes at the end of their life, you know. Now, I don't want to talk about that end of your life right now, obviously, because obviously everyone's gonna live for a while, duh. But I don't know. I say to you, if you don't want to be forgotten, try to make moves every day to cement yourself in some way, somehow, right? Even if it's just the little things, right? By maybe helping a person out, helping someone carry a bag, help opening a door, right? Because that person will think of you, and therefore you're not forgotten. Even if it's just for a little, couple seconds, you're not going to be forgotten. Wow, it's kind of my food for thought. Kind of two ideas packed into one video, but yeah. Alright, well, I hope none of you are forgotten, and I know that none of you will be forgotten, because you gotta have that confidence, obviously. Anyways, I hope you're having a wonderful evening, good afternoon, or morning if you're just waking up, or night if you're just about to go to bed, or if you're gaming right now, eating, or whatever. Hope your food is good, and hope your game is good, right? And I hope that all of you can find peace in your life